Okay, so let's talk about, we're going to light this up a little bit. Okay. Um, Now, the first thing that I want to make sure that you do, um, we've got to make sure that our plugins are all set appropriately. Now, plugins are basically add-on programs that you can turn on and off, and they bring a certain amount of additional functionality to Maya that's not programmed into the base operations of Maya. All right, so the thing that I need to make sure that you have turned on is Arnold. You should see that Arnold is installed. That's pretty much a dead giveaway that is in fact working. But I want to check another place here. So if we go over to Windows, and then we go to Settings and Preferences right here, and then all the way over and down to the Plugin Manager. This basically lets you know that any additional programs that we want that have some functionality, are turned on or not turned on. Some of them are a little bit heavier and they suck up a bunch of RAM. So sometimes you don't want them if you're not using them. But I decided to auto load everything so it all shows up. But here's the one that's important as far as Arnold goes. MTOA. Okay, that is, I don't even remember what that stands for. That is the Arnold plugin. Okay, so you just need to make sure that that's working. Okay. Now the question is, what is Arnold? Arnold is the general renderer for Maya. Right now, you're viewing this in what's known as the viewport renderer, and so it's a very kind of a flat shaded, slightly three-dimensional shading, but not awesome. It's okay. But you can, if you go to renderer right here, you'll see it's viewport 2.0, and then the next one is Arnold. And so I'm just turning that on. Okay, and what's going to happen? This little interface comes up, and in order for it to actually do its thing, you actually have to tell it to work. So basically, it's a start IPR, which is its renderer. Now, immediately it went black. Okay, that's not surprising, considering the warning that just showed up here. No lighting scene, which is completely correct. There's a bunch of things that you can do here, but I'm going to show you where the Arnold lights are. And I'm going to turn this off, and I'm going to go back to viewport, because without any lights on, it's kind of hard to see. But I'm going to go to Arnold right up here. And then Arnold has its lights. And we're just going to do an area light. And it comes up as basically this kind of just square. It's a panel of light, basically. That's what it just kind of broadcasts light in a particular direction with no real form to it. The one thing that you want to know here is that this little tail right here, that's the direction the light's going. Okay, so it's not like a light bulb with the shade off and it's broadcasting at 360 degrees. This is just a panel of light shooting in a direction. Okay, so now I want to make sure that I can see this thing too. So this eggshell white is not super awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and put a standard surface on it, which we've done before. So I'm going to do assign favorite material and its standard surface. Okay, and so now that's the Arnold standard surface, and I'm going to move this over here real quick. And it says standard surface 2. I'm just going to name it sphere. And then I'm going to just change the color to, I don't know, a light blue of some sort. That's fine. Okay. And then specularity, I'm going to make it a little bit shinier. And then I'm going to work on the roughness a little bit. So that's kind of like a pretty heavy plastic, okay? And just for the sake of having a little bit of fun doing this, I'm going to create a second object. I'm going to basically make a floor for this thing. So I'm going to just create a cube, okay, here, and I'm going to just smash it down. So I'm going to hit the R key, which is scale. So I'm just going to smash it down, and it's a little bit, you can't see it yet. I'm going to scale it out. So now basically my sphere is sitting on top of essentially a floor. And I'm just going to scale this thing out a little bit more like this, a little bit more like that. So, and the only reason I really care about doing this is because I want the floor to catch a shadow. So I'm going to give this one a surface name also. So I'm going to right click on it again. And I'm going to assign favorite material, and it's going to be standard one more time. Okay. And so this is, we'll just go ahead and name this floor. And don't worry if I'm like kind of zooming through this stuff. Just go ahead and pause and watch it, rewatch it if you need to. It's cool. I'm going to make this, right now the color is white. I'm going to make it, I don't know, some level of gray, like that-ish, something like that. It's fine. Okay. And that will work great for me. Okay, so I've got my objects in here. And I've got my light. And so now I'm going to turn back on Arnold, and you'll see the differences immediately. Arnold is a much more realistic shading system, so it casts real looking shadows. It calculates things a little bit more specifically. So I'm going to go to renderer here again. I'm going to go to Arnold, and now you can see what it's doing. Okay, so it's a completely different setup here. And the kind of the cool thing is that as I start to move things around, it tries its best to render as in real time as it possibly can. Okay, so I'm just going to move this light up like that, and so you can start to see what it's doing. You can also rotate it, move it, that sort of, all those things, and you can see kind of what it's doing with this panel, this area light, is it's actually putting a kind of a reflection on it, as if there's actually like a big silk that's up there shooting a light on it. That doesn't actually exist, but it works, and I think it makes sense. Now I want to show you something here. We can change the, I'm going to go to the attribute editor tab here for the light. And so things are similar to the way things are for surfacing. The most important thing is, like, I can change the color of the light. I can change the intensity. So the color is straight up white, and I can make the intensity a little bit brighter here so you can see what it's doing. And then Arnold will just go through and it's going to render it out and try and make it look nice and smooth, which is cool, right? And so that is a way of setting up lights. You can set up multiple lights if I wanted to. I'm going to right click on this thing, and I'm going to say, I'm going to duplicate this light. So duplicating is Control D. So Control D. So now I've got a second light here, and I'm going to take area light 2, just move that over here, rotate it around. Yeah. The death roll here. Here we go. And now I'm lighting from 2 different sides, which is actually not a bad looking format here. Now for light 2, I'm going to make the intensity a lot less. So it's more lit from one side. I'm going to actually change the color a little bit, so it's a little bit blue on blue is going to be tough, but I'm going to just try and blue it out a little bit. So go ahead and spend a little bit of time doing that. The one thing that we need to do at this point is we need to save our stuff. So, so I'm going to do File, Save Scene As. And you should have a folder in your sequences, and you can just go ahead and make a folder called Test, or Light Test. And then you're not going to turn this one in. This is just for you, but just from the naming convention, GN, your initials, light, capital L, test, capital T, underscore 001, and hit enter. And now it'll just go ahead and save it, so you've got something that looks realistic.